And hello, everyone. We should be live. I am DBJ, Dave Brian Jackson. I have my own YouTube channel, but it's far easier to find me if you type in Bring Back the Magic. That'll link you to a lot of my old videos. And I will be getting back to making videos, but at the moment I am trying to publish some gaming supplements. Most recently, one's called a Cinematic Environs. The first one's called Arctic Environments, so just check that out. I also have with me some players, and we're going to play in a game called the One Line RPG, which I created, although it was with the help of many, many other great and fantastic other RPGs out there. I will have them introduce themselves and tell you what the game is about. So, let's go with Frank, because you're on my left. So, right
Okay,
on ahead.
my name is Frank Fry, and I've been gaming for a long, long time. And, I've known DBJ and all the rest of these guys for a while, and, well, I'm looking forward to this, and although I don't have a tag put up, my character, just call him Smith. That's all he wants you to call him. A hitman who firmly believes he is the angel of death.
Awesome, awesome. Next we have Phil.
Hi, my name is Philip Posey. I run the channel Maps and Dragons. Today, I'll be playing a character. He's seen better days. He's a manic depressive private investigator with nothing left to lose. In his pocket, he has a sawed off or a stub-nosed 38. He clicks it back, spins the barrel, shh, click. Yeah, I'll be playing Eli Silas tonight to see what kind of Avengers we'll get into.
Awesome, awesome. And lastly, we have Garth. Sir, please introduce yourself and your character and anything else you want to plug.
Right on. I'm Garth. I've been gaming since the mid 80s, but took a big break and have been getting back in the last year or so. And I'm just really stoked to be in another one of these DBJ one-line games. My character's G. Owens. I'm bringing him back from the last game, but he's been damaged. He's now a disguised hacker with Underworld contacts, but he's lost his disguise ability, and he's going to be trying to get it back during the game.
Cool. So for this is the second in a series about the one-line RPG. For those who don't know, there will be a link posted below. The rules are free, and as long as no one steals credit, you can just use them as much as you want, repost, print them out, send them to anybody you want to. Essentially, the game is very simple. All the guys here, you essentially create a one-line description of your character, and that one line is generally divided into a capability, a purpose, and a focus. Or in other words, you're an adjective noun that verbs, right? So you can be a wealthy millionaire with lots of connections. You can be an urban ninja that fights crime or something of that nature. Any line. That narrative line is the description of your character. So whenever you engage in any kind of activity, you want to find out whether you succeed or not, you roll a d6. Any portion of your narrative that is appropriate for the scene, you get to roll an additional d6. From 1 through 3 essentially is a failure, 4 through 6 is a success, and then those gradients are divided into failing or failing, but you succeed, and same thing with success. From 4 through 6, you can succeed, but there's some form of failure, or you can succeed and gain a critical success. Taking damage to your narrative means that instead of using hit points, you lose a portion of your narrative, and you do not have access to that. And in the course of the game, the players may decide to reestablish that narrative. In other words, heal that narrative back for the characters. I know maybe how I'm describing it may be kind of odd, so I hope it comes out in the game. So we will start in the middle. All right, is your chrome wheel spinning very slowly, and smoke slowly starts to build from the rubber tire. It's sliding across the pavement like smoothly, almost like a beautiful ballet, as the scene starts to pull out. Smoke is billowing from it. So much smoke that you cannot see the undercarriage of the automobile. With their hand out of one of the open windows is the depressed PI with his gun going off. Small pieces of metal are bouncing off of the concrete in slow little dancing arcs as they impact the pavement and send black fragments of tarmac into the sky. You can see that these are bullets being fired from an automatic rifle, but they're just firing very slowly, almost like a heartbeat. And as the scene starts to open up, you guys are inside of a very fast, very powerful sports sedan. Mercedes AMG, big V12 engine in it. I mean, and it is power sliding through an intersection, barely missing a metro bus, going around some people who scatter back off of the sidewalk as automatic weapons fire is coming out of the side of a helicopter, which is making its way through the tall glass and steel buildings in a New York skyline. All three of you are inside of the automobile, and Garth, your character realizes that the slow motion of the tires moving, the slow motion of the bullets, is something that you've actually felt before, and you weren't sure what it was. Maybe you took heavy doses of, migraine medication or something like that. Now you're realizing that your brain is slowing down the action. And although you can't move as fast as you would like, you can actually see things that you should not normally be able to see because of it. And you're slowly coming out of this fugue state where you can actually see bullets flying through the air. Excuse me. The black helicopter, guys on the side, links cables in the back of their jackets, dark helmets on, goggles, short little MP5 machine guns shooting at you. You have a laptop, computer with a thumb drive in the side of it, and unfortunately, you guys have a lot of evidence about an alien cover-up speeding down the street, speeding away from what essentially is a top-secret installation. On the sidewalks, as people are scattering behind you, a pair of BMW sports sedans are following behind you very closely, and ahead is an on-ramp to the highway. And I leave it up to you guys.
This got a sunroof on it?
Oh, of course. Of course.
See how well they like Miss... Hey, greetings from Mr. Kalishnikov. I'm going to have to do the full magazine into the helicopter.
Okay. I'm going to, before we start rolling dice, I want to find out what everybody would like to do.
I'm going to be looking.
Nice.
I'm hacking online into the police grid to look at traffic patterns and trying to find the fastest way out of here. Looking especially for things like covered bridges or maybe undercover parking that we can go in on one side and come out on the other. I'm scouring the net for details
All right.
that I can feed to the driver.
Okay.
So
Okay.
It's 5 hours earlier. The bar I'm sitting in is decked out in rich, luxurious wood, ebony that's been coated in like urethane. Everything shines and is polished. I'm sitting there in the corner booth, and my hands, 4 fingers of bourbon that swirls around like death itself, an intoxicating aroma. I lift it up to my face. I drain it down. As I put the glass down, in walks a man. It looks like G. Owens. He's carrying a briefcase in his hand, and he sits down. He cracks it open. It sounds almost like a tomb raising when he lifts open the briefcase. Do I have some information for you? I'm driving. In my hand is another bourbon. It spins around in my hand. I say, hold on, boys. I don't have anything left to lose. I turn the steering wheel, like as my bourbon churns. I bring the car up with the 2 wheels, and we split down the side of the building.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Now, Frank,
Yo.
let's take a shot at the helicopter. Now you roll a d6 plus anything in your narrative that is appropriate for the situation. You get to roll another d6 for it.
Yeah. Combat veteran.
There you go.
And here we go. 3 and a 1.
All right. The three is a fail, but right. So that means that it's a fail, but you get a success out of it.
Or isn't it right that he can take the 1 and then he gets a bonus later?
Absolutely. Yes. If you can decide to take a 1, which basically you decide to fail, right? If you choose to do that, later you have the option to have any other die re-rolled, whether on my side or your side, or any of your friends. You can say, I want to save that and then have any other die re-rolled.
I'll save it.
Okay. Which also includes, actually, you could re-roll a die to hope to get a 1 to get another chance to, or have another opponent get something, or a friendly character, or whatever you want. Which,
Okay, no, I'll take the 1. I'll take the 1.
So
Okay.
right now we have the failure and, right?
Correct. You get it's a failure end, which you can choose to decide what that is, or I can.
I missed completely and the weapon jams.
That's exactly what I was going to go for. Okay.
Cheap Yugoslavian ammunition. Son of a bitch!
All right. And Garth, let's make that a hacking roll.
All right. I've got a 1 and a 3. I'm going to go with the 3 in this case.
Okay.
And so failure, but so I'm going to say I see a path. I start giving directions, and but my directions are incorrect. And so we go into an undercover parking lot that I think we can get out of on another side. But it turns out that it's just going straight up to the roof. It does give us a brief respite from the helicopter, but I think those 2 other cars are probably right behind us.
Okay. Cool. And Elias, hit those 2 wheels.
Alright, let's see what we can do. Spinning. The car flips over.
Oh, Elias, what have you done to
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, you still can get the point. You can save a story point. So right. So you roll a 1, but the other one you can take for the point, because you got to. I mean, that's a double failure right there. That sucks. Okay, so you flip the wheel, you turn the corner. You're hearing, hey, there's a way to get out of here. Go to the left, go to the back. The car spins, it hits two wheels, flips over on its on its roof, slides into the parking lot, and spins, hits a concrete barrier, boom, turns, and while you guys are disoriented, you see these two upside down, unfortunately. You guys see the two BMWs turn and block the exit to the garage. And you see the doors open up and some heavy muscled guys in combat boots and small automatic weapons start rushing towards the flipped over sports sedan that you guys are in.
It is not so bad. I didn't spill my drink.
Ice still in the glass. Okay. You can see that they're spreading out to prevent traffic from coming in, and you hear what sounds like something like knocking on the door, and it falls down, and you can see what looks like the telltale sign of a grenade with the pin that was pulled.
Oh man.
I think we have a delivery here.
All right, let's make a roll here. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh, how did my dice stream turn off? Oh, there we go. These guys are experienced. I rolled a 4. Ooh, sweet. Okay. Grenade drops. You hear you guys are like in the car, like getting ready to kick the windows out, whatnot, and then you hear this loud boom, and it's a stun grenade. Big loud sound, lights and everything. It blows the glass out of the car from interior wise, and then all you hear is that like high pitched noise in your ears as smoke and sound start to boggle your senses, but you can still each of you loses one portion of your narrative, and you can decide which one that is. Right. So you if it's a portion that is like physical, you can decide to lose that. If you've got something like I don't know,
I've got underworld contacts, and I'm going to lose that.
Right, absolutely.
I'm going to lose nothing left to lose. Eli Silas, a depressive PI who fears for his life.
That's fantastic. You now have something to lose because
you gain back nothing to lose. All right. How about you, Frank? 4.
He's been knocked. He's been stunned, so he loses the combat veteran, the reflexes and all of that.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make this a quote unquote next round of action, so you guys can decide what to do.
I look at the veteran. Well, this was your idea?
No. Get the fuck out of this car.
I wait a minute. I hit the radio.
Oh, it still works.
The music.
Hey man, are you like drunk?
I think I have a concussion.
Yeah, you're drunk.
So with my hands slippery with my own blood, I'm going to try to unlock myself from the safety belt, close up the laptop, and start crawling on my back, trying to get out of the car on the side away from the BMWs, looking for other exits.
Okay. You see that it looks like a parking garage connected to maybe an office building, maybe a business center or something. You see other sedans and automobiles that look similar to the one you're in. Very high-end automobiles. It looks like and you see signs where it says like reserved number 56, reserved parking spot 23, and then you can see areas where it says like CEO, and there's like a name that someone, maybe the parking attendant has slid a last name into, so there's like assigned parking spots as well. There's close by, there's a parking attendant who all you see are like the wide eyes of the person as he like looks over the countertop of the parking area, and he's hiding down behind the plexiglass, which it's not bulletproof or anything. Essentially looking past the automobile at the guys with the automatic weapons, who are hesitantly moving close to you guys because they know how dangerous you are.
So I'm crawling behind one of the. Oh well, the car's upside down. I'm crawling along the ground. I flip open the laptop and I enter in the codes for this parking lot, which I had already had, and I just enter in one of the license plates, hoping I can get the doors open and the car started using the laptop.
Oh, cool. Cool. Okay, go ahead. Or tell me what you're going to do first.
I come over to the window. The first thing I check is the mirror. My hair's on the front of my face. I smooth it over. The glass, I sit down. I take it into the tumbler, and I smash up the window. And then I'm going to crawl out like a kid through a playhouse tunnel. I'll have my gun pointed out. Which one of you wanted in the ankles?
All right, how about you, Frank?
I'm going to low crawl. I've still got my AK, so I dropped a magazine with a cheap Yugoslavian ammunition in it. And actually, it should be cheap Serbian ammunition now. But, and I'm going to reload while I'm crawling. Knees and elbows out. Low crawl.
Okay. All right. Gar, go for your hacking roll.
Right. This is my last narrative piece. So.
Okay.
I've got a 4 and a 3. I'll take the 4.
Sweet. Perfect success. A satellite from above circles in on the eastern seaboard of the United States and then starts to hyper zero in. Like you just see like the eastern seaboard, and then like whoop, and then you see New York City, and then whoop, and then it's like finds a borough of like Manhattan, and then it goes whoop, and it comes down to street level, and you see like a 10-block radius, and then it just keeps focusing down till it hits the top of a building, and you could see like a helipad and a parking lot, and then it actually zeroes down even further, and then we get a scene from directly above where you guys are located from the ceiling. So you see the undercarriage of the car. You guys are outside. You're on your computer. You're looking at yourself on your computer from a camera inside of the parking garage.
Wow.
And an automobile nearby, the lights go boop boop, and you hear the horn goes beep beep, woo, and it starts up.
Far out. So I just yell, over here, and then I start crawling towards that other car.
Okay.
Trying to keep down, assuming that there's going to be gunfire pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. There is. Reach into my tactical vest pocket. What I pull out is not the standard 30-round AK. It's goddamn 75-round assault drum. I'm going to light these bastards up.
All right, go for it, dude.
And then, as the Incredible Hulk would say, it's clobbering time. Do I get my combat vet back yet? Because now I'm on my feet. I'm out of the smoke and the noise.
Not yet. Not
All
yet.
right. Well, what the hell?
Although, on the fly, you know what? I would suggest that if you spent the story point, you could get it back.
I'll spend that story point then.
Right on.
Yeah, yeah.
Kill these bastards. All right, just now that gives me 2. And here we go.
I
Absolutely.
think it gives you 3 because if you count in that you also think you're the angel of death.
Yeah, that's
As
right.
long as it. Hey, don't forget that. Throw another one in there.
Sure.
Should put one in.
331.
Well, okay. The failure, but so
Well, he can choose
okay.
that one though if he decides he wants to do it again.
Yeah.
I'll cash in on 1.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's roll again. Can I roll again? How do I do this? Do I just go, oh, well.
No. You can save that for another
I'll save-
attempt and then pick the failure now. So you can fail now to get a option of succeeding, a chance of succeeding later.
I'll fail now. Do you know how it fails? I open up. I spray that area. Problem is, I'm emptying that 75-round magazine at a hell of a fast clip, and the front grip on the AK starts smoking because it's heating up. And it's wood.
Awesome. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So gunfire rips through the parking lot. I mean, it echoes really loudly, and you're just like, yeah, and the guys with the guns are like, they're taking cover behind the concrete pillars in the parking garage, but like, as much gunfire as you sprayed, you really didn't hit anything or anybody. It looked really cool though, and then the stock is just burning and catching on fire. It looks quite awesome, but not very effective.
No.
All right, and Elias, who ended up breaking the window with his tumbler. I'm sure you can still use it to drink out of if you need to.
Eli Silas. He gets up out of the car. He bends back down. He grabs the bottle. He pulls out the stub-nose 38. He looks above where the men are above the pillars. There's light and it's dangling on chains. He pulls up the gun, cocks it back. He aims. Oh, but there's 4 chains. Oh, which one? Which one? So he's going to try and shoot the light above it and see if he can incapacitate the men with the automatic weapons.
Okay.
5.
Ooh, sweet. Okay. How do you do it? That's a very good success.
All right.
Or it is a success.
You hear my boots. They crunch on the glass that's just blasted out in front of me. And I reach into my trench coat pocket and I pull out the 38. On the side of it, it says Susan, my first ex-wife. I cock the hammer. Click. And I'm back there on my birthday. Susan comes in. She's wearing a teddy. She says, I have a surprise for you, Eli. And I go, what, you're going to dance? She says, no. She reaches around and she has the stub-nose 38. I have it in my hand now. I shoot it. Man, this is for you, Susan. The light comes down.
You're sick. Okay. The bullets fire, and I mean, you just see glass shattering, and the what do you call those? With the fluorescent lighting that's in the parking lot, where it's hanging. You see the bulbs start to shatter and they start to fall down over top of the guys. I mean, it's just it's a mess.
It's just raining glass.
Yes, and
All right, Smith. Smith, why don't you learn how to shoot? You're wasting your bullets like candy. Come on.
and there is a possible method to get out of here with a car idling by in a parking spot. It says like Judge Albert, and it's I don't know, a large Audi sedan, dark gray, and it's just idling by.
I say of all the cars you could hack, you get the judge's car.
It's probably got a bar. Come on.
All right.
Well, look at it this way. At least it ain't Judge Dredd.
The bottle of liquor slishing back and forth. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. I go to the passenger side. I've had too much to drink. You drive.
I'm navigating
I'll drive.
far out.
Just remember, though, the angel of death is at the wheel.
That's awesome. So I'm still under the delusion that this place has another exit. So I'm just like, floor it, get out of here.
Okay. Put it in reverse. Burnout. Do a burnout, packing out of the parking spot. You start to speed through the garage. You can see that there are some automobiles that have stopped. It looks like people were trying to pull out of the garage, and that there's like 4 or 5 cars that are going the opposite direction to go out. So you start speeding past them, looking for the opposite direction, and it starts to spiral you upwards in the garage. So all you see are exit signs pointing the other way, and you're going the opposite direction. And you're just, you're hitting it 45, 55 miles an hour through the parking lot, and all you're hitting are ramps that are going upwards and then hitting another level of the garage, and then going upwards and then hitting another level of the garage.
So the whole time he's doing that whole space of time that I've got, I'm trying to reconnect and reorient myself. And as soon as I realize my mistake, I'm looking for the closest building that when he gets to the top level, what building can I have him jump across the street and get onto some other building and get away like that?
Say what?
I'm looking for the best possible direction that can take you airborne to a lower building where we can land and get out that way.
Okay. There is. Let's make a roll. Let's roll for that.
All right.
And you've got hacker, so
Right. So
don't forget that as well.
I'm a 1 and 4 here, so I'm going to take the 4 this time.
Okay.
So success bucked.
Okay. You find the parking garage is located right next to the actual building it's supposed to be part of, but you realize that gaining entrance to, like, it's on the same level, but it's all like concrete and steel and such. Like, you could not directly drive from the parking lot to the building it's connected to, but you realize you could actually jump it, and you'll fall down a story but go into another building.
So like through a plate glass window into some other building.
Correct. So you're going to have to jump it to get it out to get out of there.
All right. So I'm saying turn north and floor it.
Whoa, what are you doing?
All right. Okay, I'm flooring it, by God.
All right, you turn around. There is above you, because you hit the top level of the parking lot. You see that there's the parking lot, and then there's a portion of the parking lot that's meant for a helicopter pad, and it sits about 4 or 5 feet above the ground level. But there's a series of ramps that lead to it, so that if somebody was, essentially there's steps and then a series of ramps that you can use to launch off of. Above the helicopter pad is the black helicopter, and it's sitting about 3 stories, and it looks like it's coming down to land. And you can see the gentleman with the strapped, hanging off the railings, off the what are those? The skids.
Yeah.
And they've got the automatic weapons, little snub-nosed things with the suppressors, and you can see that they're getting ready to fire at you as you're about to make your jump. But go ahead and make the roll.
I have nothing. Wait a minute, I do. I saved a 1 if I remember correctly.
Yes, you did.
Wow. So that's going to be 2 dice. I'm the angel of death. I can do whatever I fucking want to do and get away with it. Can I get another die for that one?
Yes.
All right. That's 3 dice. Let's see how bad I screw it up this time.
Perfect.
5, 6, 3. Touchdown, Kansas City Chiefs.
Awesome. You turn, gun it, hit the ramp, and you end up flying up underneath the helicopter as the gentleman on the side of sides of the helicopter getting ready to fire at you, and you jump right underneath the helicopter as it intends to descend down onto the parking lot. You miss the helicopter, fly through the air, through the plate glass window of the building next door, as you can see that there are people at the window looking out because they heard some noises or something, and they all go scattering as you land from like the 5th story down into the 4th story of the building. The car just barrels through all the little the partitions, and the Xerox copy machine, and the gopher's cart. He's pushing mail, and he jumps aside, and everything starts flying. Bang, 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 bang. The car, you could see things flying off the hood as you're getting close to the plate glass window at the other end of the building.
Slamming on the brakes.
You slam the brakes, turn, you hit the window, and just a slight crack goes through the window, like off the side. And you see the glass just starts to crack, and it falls. The glass falls out the window, not the car. The glass falls out of the window, and when it falls out the window, you see on that window, there's like window washers standing right below where the tires would be. So they are like on the 2nd or the 3rd floor of the building, as glass like kind of spills over top of these 2 guys who are like, they just put their heads down, and they're literally standing at eye level to the tires of this car that's sitting in this office building where you guys are at.
Question. Would this be Judge Albert's office?
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the frightened secretary saying, "Oh, tell Judge Albert we brought his car for him. Let's go, guys." No charge.
There happens to be a half-filled bottle of cognac on a desk with the little plate that says Judge Albert on it.
So on that far side of the building where the window washers are, can I see any evidence of the Black Ops guys? Are there any cars on that side?
No.
It looks to me like the window washing mechanism is a good way to get down and get out of here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The cables run all the way to the roof, but these guys were just happened to be 1 floor below you guys when the car slammed into the window. So if you want to take the opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, I'm suggesting we jump down there, and it'll be the fastest way out of the building. Unless somebody's got another idea, like driving the car to a different floor.
No, I think the judge wants his car back.
Did you say this was Judge Albert?
Right.
Oh, he was the judge for my divorce from Susan.
Oh, Oh, hell, if I'd have known that, I'd have run the son of a bitch over as a favor to you, buddy.
I, from the windshield is busted off. I climb from the hood of the car and I go jump down the window washers. Hey, how are you doing? We're going to commandeer your window washing, Brad.
Yeah, yes, I'm headed down.
You see that he's like up against the wall, and he's got like it looks like he's got a shirt, dress shirt on, tie. It looks like he's got judge's robes, but he doesn't have any pants on. So he's got like the boxers and then the socks with the little straps to hold the socks up, and holding up against the thighs and the dress shoes, and he's just got his hands up, and then he like looks down, and there's just like moisture like spilling down his left leg.
Hold on himself with fear.
Hey, Your Honor, we brought your car for you. See you later. No charge either. No charge either, buddy.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting out of the back seat of the car and climbing his way down onto the to the window washer unit. Are you guys doing that?
Right. Totally, I'm doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I will too. What the hell? Never split the party.
There's a low rent district that's pretty close by, and it's where I keep my office as a private detective. I know Lucille is there in her little red dress, my secretary.
Oh, that's why you were divorced, huh?
Things are getting hot here, Lucille. We're going to have to go to Plan C. I'm on my way.
Did you give her a call?
Yeah. As
Okay.
I'm sitting there with some very confused window washers.
You hear the traditional smacking of the lips and the chewing of the gum on the other line, as she's like, "Sure thing, honey. I'll be here. Just I'll have a drink waiting for you if you want."
Lucy, are you chewing that gum? We spoke about this.
Okay. The window washer guys, they're like, they've moved to both ends of the thing of the unit, and they're just looking at you guys like, okay, hit the down button.
Take us down. Take us down.
They have no interest in wanting to confront you guys at all. The unit comes down, hits the ground floor. People are looking up in the sky more or less, instead of just you guys. They're like, "What the heck's going on?" You can see the edge of the tires in the automobile sitting up on the fourth story of this building. You get down to the ground floor and make a run for it, to blending into the crowd, heading towards Elias's detective investigation office. So, yeah. So you guys get out of there. You make your way. You can see as he gets to the office, it's got one of the frosted glass windows, and you can hear on the inside. There's like you can hear like the tinny sound of a really small television playing, and when you open the door, you can see on the television are news crews who are wondering what was going on just moments ago from where you guys came from, and they're speculating from anything from it was a gang war to someone wanted to come after Judge Albert. He was he was very conservative in his judgment of criminals. We're not sure if someone was actually gunning for him or not. No mention of you guys. No mention of it at all.
Okay, we'll just tell them we're Trump supporters. That ought to work.
There's an attractive but somewhat ditzy secretary, receptionist, and she's more concerned with, you know, how her appearance looks more than actually doing any paperwork. As you see, like piles and piles of like files and paperwork, and none of it looks like it's in any particular order. And it's sitting on the floor. It's sitting in the corners. There's those classic white boxes with the white box tops and the handles that are poked into the sides, and they have like code numbers and names written on the boxes, but none of the boxes stacked relate to any other box that's stacked. And when you guys come in, she's like, "Hey," she sees you alive. She's like, "Hey, boss, how you doing?" And she's like chewing gum. She's like blowing on her nails, making sure that she doesn't get anything anywhere. And she's kind of tiptoeing her way with her like platform stilettos around the different piles and stuff. And she's like, "Don't mess with anything. I've got my own system in here." And she reaches over a pile to move things aside. She dumps something on the floor, and then she pulls out some tumblers and glasses and starts pouring drinks all around. And she's like, "You boys just you guys just get together. It's okay. I've got to deal with a couple of things." And you can see she walks out of the room and goes around a corner, and you can see she's got like a hair curler plugged into the wall, and she's about to go finish doing her hair.
I walk into the office, and I take off my trench coat. I give it a snap like a bullfighter encouraging a bull. Off shakes all this glass. It goes all over the floor like clacking of dice. I hang it up. You can see there's some bullet holes through some of the fabric. I walk over to the desk. I look down at some of these papers. Pull up my gun and lay it heavily on the desk. It goes clack. I walk over to the tumbler, and I pick it up. I pour myself a drink. Out of my pocket, I have a medicine bottle. A medicine bottle. On it, it says "Screamers." I pour like 5 of them into my hand. I throw them in the back of my throat. I take a long swig. It's like a hot, rich caramel burning down my throat, and I feel something in the pit of my stomach awaken my eyes, and they dilate. I turn around real slow. God damn it, Owen. What the hell was that?
Unfortunately, it was confirmation that my cover has been completely blown. That car was supposed to be completely safe and untraceable, but as soon as we were out, they were on top of us. We've got to find a different way to get this information moved.
I pour you a drink. I walk over. You hear the glass crunch underneath my loafers. I hand it to you. Here, enjoy that. It's the best $20 can buy.
I take it with a shaking hand, and I find somewhere to sit down.
Can I get you anything? Do you want some water, a Coca-Cola, or what would you like, Mr. Smith?
Bottle of water. That's fine.
Bottle of water. Okay, perfect. Vodka it is. I walk over. I pour a glass. Here you are. Please come into my office. When it opens up, it smells like a sweet yellow leather. There's a desk. It's broken down wood. There's a picture of my ex-wife, Susan. She has her hair done up in a beehive. On her face, you see darts. There's many files are strewn all about. And I sit down at my desk. I put my feet up on the top of it. You can see there's like a little hole in my shoe, and there's a sock.
I see. Well, it looks like you follow there appears to have been a school of filing. That's what I'd say. Well, it's a hell of a fight in here. Miss Smith will just look at you and go, "Well, we're still above ground. Through no fault of our own."
That's true. How we made it out alive, I don't know.
And
Mr. Smith, I saw all these weapons that you pulled out. It was like a Terminator himself. I thought I was going to hear.
Um, um, Garth, you, I mean, in this chaos of files and everything, you guys are relaxing. You actually notice one of his files has a name on it that looks familiar.
What is this Illuminati file?
Yep.
Oh, that? What are you doing? You wearing your tinfoil hat? Bring it over here.
When you look at the file, you notice that there's paper stuffed in it. It's it looks kind of chaotic, and you notice that there's a picture of a guy. Looks like it's taken from maybe a street camera or maybe like an ATM camera or something of that nature, and it's someone who's he's a common, not even a criminal. He's always getting in trouble with a bookie, and as much as you've told him to lay off like the off-track betting, horses and things, he's constantly going back to the same bookies over and over again. And Elias has the file because you were supposed to, some couple of bucks, watch this guy. Who is he? Where's he's going? Nothing, couple $100. It was a very small thing. Wasn't a very important, investigative mission for you. So you got some pictures of him and figured that he was just a, scumbag, whatever. But Garth, you do realize that he actually is connected to some really high-level mob guys who they'll crack his kneecaps probably if he doesn't pay him back.
Yeah, let me tell you a story about this guy and these mobsters. This is a classic case of a Kansas City shuffle. Now, many years ago, 20 years when these mobsters set up, there was a horse race. The call came in, the fix was in. It was a doped up horse. Some new guys came into town, and they didn't appreciate word getting out about their horse. Everyone seemed to bet on it. They had to make an example. The guy's name was Kevin Lane. They killed Kevin, they put the bag over his head and watched him suffocate. They killed his wife, and they had to call in the heaviest of hitters to take care of the child. These are not meant to cross, Kevin. These are not meant to cross, Owen. I don't know what you're looking into, but I've seen that look in your eye before.
What I need you to tell me whether or not we can trust him with a small operation on our side. My contacts have been completely blown. My undercover work has been completely shot. I need to rely on you to know if you've got enough on him to put pressure on him to get this information moved.
This guy is a total loser. He owes
pressure him
$40,000 to one gangster and $50,000 to the other.
You know what? He'd make a nice diversion, though. Let him think he... Yeah.
What are you thinking, Mr. Smith?
Plant phony information on him. Turn him loose. Let people know he's running about with this information. Watch who comes out of the woodwork to beat his ass to a bloody pulp or kill him and steal his stuff. The hell, he's a loser, isn't he? So what? Another loser dead. Big deal.
I agree.
I don't care whether the guy lives or dies. What I need to know is whether or not we can find someone who can move the information that's on this disk drive that we've got.
Where do you want it moved to?
We've got to get it away from the black ops that have been chasing us. They are going to try to suppress it. We need to get it to someone who can get it out into the open.
Well, this man does have connections with organized crime. We could always go and sit down and get an introduction. perhaps these these criminals, these gangsters can help us, because I don't think you guys want to be dealing with things on the level here.
You're exactly right about that. That's a great idea. So how do we get in contact?
Oh, simplicity itself. This man is Lucille's brother.
Well, let's get something started. Let's set this up.
All right, that's good. I pulled the phone over on my desk. It's an old rotary, the kind that you have to put your finger in, turn all around.
What do you mean an old rotary? I've used those.
Oh, just 5 more minutes. Yeah, all right. I call him up and I make the arrangements. Can I roll like private investigator to see if I can get him to meet with us?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's see what I can do.
All right.
Bam!
Ooh. At first, he answers the phone, and you could tell, you absolutely can tell, like, he stuck a sock or like a handkerchief over the phone, and he's like, hello? Who are you trying to contact?
Is this Culebra?
I could get a message to him, yeah.
Culebra, it's you, I know it. You're, this is Lucille's boss, Eli Silas. And
Oh,
he's
you-
in a meeting.
He takes you can tell he takes them off. Hey, how you doing? Sorry about that. I gotta screen my calls now. And
I say, look, I have 2 gentlemen here who want to make some wagers. Maybe you can set us up with your bookie-trons. Can we meet tonight? The usual place?
yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. It's like, yeah, of course. My usual spot where I get the magic done. I've got the magic fingers, man. I get my magic done.
Yeah, the
And,
other place with the 10 gallons of wine, 6 packs of beer. It comes in a box, don't worry. Alright, these guys I'm bringing in, they're some pretty heavy hitters. You know, they're just flushed full of cash. So I just want to make sure that we'll be able to meet the bookies.
Yeah. No problem, man. No problem. I know everybody, man. I've got the magic fingers. I got that magic touch. Come on. I got the magic.
Alright, Culebra,
Yeah.
very good. I will see you tonight.
You got it. And he hangs up all happy and whatnot. You do know that although he's not very good at very unlucky in gambling, that he's got a knack for numbers, which for some reason just never went to school, uneducated, just dropped out, but he's got a really good knack for numbers. Just has no ability to gamble whatsoever.
Which is odd. I know on his person that he has a bookies books.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if we can get those books, I'm sure we can make him do whatever we want.
In the neighborhood, he used to make a couple of bucks here and there because you could show him or tell him or give him any set of numbers, and then he'll repeat all the numbers back.
You should see him. He's like a Rain Man. One time I dropped a pack of matches, and he was like, "There's 8." I'm like, "How do you know?"
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. He's good with numbers. He's good with numbers.
Yeah, that's it. He just has no ability to use it, other than, yeah, I remember it. And
So
that's it.
are we going to need to bring money to this? Should I use my hacking skill and see if I can pull some bitcoins down off the net?
Yes, of course.
What kind of numbers are we looking at? What do we need to bring into this for him to be interested?
10K.
All right. A 5 and a 1. I'll take a 5.
Yeah. Okay. 5's awesome. You you get online. You go into one of your hidden accounts, and you realize that there was the reason why you were being traced is because someone was putting a trace onto one of the accounts that you thought was hidden. So it confirmed what your suspicions were. Like, oh man, they were tracking our tracking us, but not tracking you with like a bug, but tracking your movements electronically as you did things electronically.
Okay, well, when I notice that, I want to move money from that account to other parts of the cities that are distant from us,
Okay.
and at the same time work on building up this fake cash that we can bring in to the game.
So, Mr. Smith,
Yes.
tell me about yourself. I know here you're a friend of Owen's, but much more I don't know.
I was trained as a ranger, former U.S. Army, sniper, pretty good.
Mhm.
10 confirmed kills in Afghanistan.
Are you an only child?
Hmm?
Or were you an only child? An only child?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was deciding whether or not to answer that. Why did you want to know, Eli?
No, your person just seems to say only child.
And both my parents are dead.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm not. They weren't that good.
You see a face of like, whoa, come over, Eli. Oh.
You gotta understand, Eli. Like I said, to my first dead kid. After that, there was no God.
Who was this kid? Was he your friend?
No, it was in Afghanistan. Saw him laying there in a ditch, poor little bastard. Somebody cut his throat. Must have been about 5 or 6 years old. And so, anyways, there was no God. There wasn't really much of a point to anything. I mean, when you really think about it, you got this poor little shit laying there in this messy, filthy ditch. Doesn't matter if he was killed by the righteous Taliban or killed by the U.S. or killed by a CIA mercenary. Poor little sumbitch is just as dead. You know that? Just as dead. That's when I realized, screw it. Nobody's out there. There's no God. It's nothing. Because you know, Eli, I got a little secret for you, buddy. It wasn't God that killed that kid. It wasn't fate that cut his throat. It wasn't destiny that dumped him in a sewage ditch to bleed out his pathetic little life. It was us. Just us, Eli. There is nobody else. There is nothing else. There is no great cosmic one, hairy thunderer in the sky that directs our fate. Nothing. We're born into this world alone. We live alone, and we die alone. And our lives have no more meaning than chimney smoke.
When Eli takes this all in, like a breath from a cigar, it's just like it hits him with like this intoxicating effect of like pure pessimistic depression. and just like an existential dilemma, he walks over to where his ex-wife portrait is on the wall. He pulls out the dart. He walks to the middle of the room. He throws it right between the eyes. Then why do you go on? He turns to Mr. Smith. Why do anything anymore?
Because
What
it isn't
keeps you
time.
going?
Because it isn't time for me to die yet.
I pull out a cigarette. I offer him a square.
No, thank you.
I throw one in my mouth. I take out my silver Bic lighter. I click my fingers and start it on fire. We got a little time to kill before tonight. How are things going with the hack, Owen?
It's going to take me, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes and I'll be done.
I go and I sit down on top of my desk. Fuck you, depress the shit out of me, Smith. I'm here to my drink.
That was awesome. I hate to break it. I'm going to award all you guys that part of your narrative. You got to get that back. That's awesome. You got to get it back. So, although you have nothing left to lose, now you have nothing left to lose.
Oh, I had something to lose.
You,
Now
you
I
had
have
something. Now you have nothing to lose from after talking to the Mr. Smith there, yeah, and after hacking and getting to one of your Bitcoin accounts, you're moving the money around and such, and you guys need to go meet with I forgot his name already, the bookie, the
gambler.
Gambler. Donald's
Right.
Gambler. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I tried to get easier.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So you guys arranged to meet this gentleman. You get there. You case out the area. It's a very seedy part of the neighborhood. You already know that if there's any police calls down here at all, they're going to be delayed by like 5 to 7 minutes on the outset if they even decide to come. And if they do come, they're going to come in force. They're not going to send just a single patrol car into this neighborhood. You know that this is like criminal mob territory, and they've greased the wheels pretty good to make sure things stay out of the way. But as you guys come in, you walk the neighborhood, you're getting closer to the spot. You do see a place. There's like an off-track betting area. There's like, it looks like chicken wire meshed in with the glass, so it's like the kind of protected area, so no one can break the glass to find out, to get behind the plexiglass where they make all the bets and such. And it's all scratched, and you can see where people put their initials in. But behind two individuals that are there taking the bets, you can see where they have like horse races and dog races and all kinds of things. And they're on these like digital boards, but like they're the old digital dot matrix boards where some of the dots are out of it. And in the lobby, there's these nasty broken plastic chairs where people are like reading newspapers and stuff, and you see this guy's like snapping his fingers. He's just like, he's got his eyes closed, he's snapping his fingers, and he's got his legs crossed in one of the plastic chairs, and you see these newspapers laid around, and one on his lap, on the floor. There's like two others on the floor, and there's like one sitting on top of his head, and he's just like snapping his fingers like, come on, come on, come on. Come on, I know you got it here. You got it here. And then he just starts spouting off numbers. 32, 60, 61, 8, 5, 3. And he like points at one newspaper. And then he's got his eyes closed. He points at another one. He's like 32, 6, 8, 4, 12, 97, 262. No, that's not it. And you can tell that's the guy you got to meet.
I I see Culebra. I remember it comes back to me. Culebra. It's a Hebrew word. It loosely translates into bad dog.
Cool.
I walk over. I see on the side of the door there's a mezuzah. It's it's from the Jewish diaspora. I know inside of it they'll have like the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments, and I think about how many commandments have been broken in this very room. I go inside. Culebra, allow me to introduce these gentlemen. This is Mr. Smith and Mr. Owen. Gentlemen, this is Culebra.
He looks up at you, and his eyes blink like he's trying to. His brain recognizes you, but he's trying to understand that with his like body motions, and he's like, oh yeah, and he spouts off your social security number, like he's trying to recognize you. He's like, 278643. Yeah, January 18th, and he's like trying to find the numbers. He's like, oh man, no. He's like, I know you. Yeah. I gotta pick these numbers, man. It's all about the numbers. You gotta. I mean, they have to flow just right. So, you wanted to meet me? And
Yeah.
he looks at you, and then he looks at the other two guys, and he instantly starts patting his pockets, like, listen, I don't have the cash on me, but if you just give me a chance, I can get it. Listen, I've got the magic fingers. I got the magic touch.
Culebra, what are you talking about? You're supposed to set us up to see the bookie's bookie.
Yeah.
You know, the boss and the rabbi.
Listen. He's gonna come here. We're gonna meet together. I've got the hookup. I just need to make a bet, a small bet before we leave. Couple $100, easy pickings, no sweat, double the money. It's a sure thing.
It's a sure thing. Mr. Smith, do you want to get on a sure thing? It might cheer you up.
Yeah, what the hell?
Okay. He goes over to the person at the counter, Altrac, and he's got the little tab that that you fill out for the bets, and he's like, this is it. This is the one. The person behind the counter is bored, like whatever. He fills it out, and he's like, come on. He holds his fingers out really nervously, waiting for some cash.
I'll saunter up behind him.
Okay.
What do you
You get close to him. He's like a little nervous, but he's like, you got any money, man? I mean, if I make this bet, I'm telling you, we'll double it. What we'll do is we'll split it. We'll go talk to the boss. We'll talk. Not a big deal. Perfect. Not a big deal.
We'll see. But what the hell? Just remember one thing. Can't take it with you. When you die. So you may as well enjoy it while you're here, partner.
Yeah, Culebra, don't forget, graves are all the same size. Unless you're a pharaoh.
He's like, whatever, man. He writes the little note down, writes it on the thing, passes the cash over, makes the bet, gets the tag back, and quickly shoves it in his pocket. He's like, come on. we'll go meet that contact you're going to talk about. Yeah, the rabbi. Yeah. Come on. And he stumbles out of the past the people coming into the off-track betting, and around the corner you see they're like, you're not sure whether they're homeless or they just are down in their luck, but they're sitting on the curb, and he like stumbles past them, and he goes down to what looks like an old style payphone, complete with the closing plastic door, but it doesn't close at all. And he pulls some change out of his pocket, drops a quarter into the thing, pulls the phone off, types in a number. It's not a full 7-digit number. Types it in, waits. You hear like a noise on the other end. He hits a button and makes a sound, and he's like, doesn't hear anything click. He's like, okay, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. I gave the signal. We're ready to go. And he starts walking up the street and goes around a corner.
And I'm following him.
Okay. Walks the street, goes around a
The
corner.
tones.
Starts to walk, and I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right. And you could see he's going into he starts walking away from that seedy kind of gambling district and whatnot, and he walks into what looks like a business district. You can see what look like the back end of warehouses, and you recognize that some of these are places where they deliver goods. Maybe there's like clothing, there's some other goods, and you can see what looks like a Hebrew sign on the back door of a door that looks like it leads upstairs, and you see there's a symbol, and it looks like the symbol for what would be a location to drop off for a jeweler. So he goes over. You can see there's a doorway between two first floor doors, and there's a door in the center that looks like you can see stairs that lead upstairs. Through the door, you can see the small portal window, and it leads upstairs. Presses the button. He gets buzzed in. When he gets buzzed in, you can see that there's a camera pointed at the door.
I'll follow him in.
Okay.
I
Camera
see
points.
on the side of the wall there's an advertisement for Manischewitz. I say, have you ever drank any of this?
Oh yeah.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, no problem. We'll sit around. We're like a big happy family. And buzzes, goes in the door, makes his way upstairs. Surprisingly, the interior of it's brightly lit, and it doesn't look anything like the kind of nasty, almost rain-slicked back alley, almost what it looks like from outside. Inside, it's clean carpet, brightly lit. You go upstairs. There's a little small potted plant at the top of the stairs, and then when you get crest to the top of the landing, there are like two offices that are open side by side, and you can see there's like safes that are against the wall, and you see a gentleman with a long beard. He's got a shawl over his shoulders. It's white with like tassels, and it's blue. You can see like the Jewish symbol of the Star of David on the with words that are embroidered in on the scarf around his neck. And what you see on these, there's like these wide desks with a lip around them, and you can see they're like gemstones on the desks with I believe it's called a lathe. It's like a series of the magnifying lenses, and able to use various magnifying lenses to get various magnifications down to look at these gemstones and such. And he comes upstairs and he's like, hey man, hey guy, how you doing? And you see this old Jewish gentleman. He just kind of looks up above from his glasses, but he doesn't get up, and he looks back down at the gemstones. And there are two beefy gentlemen kind of bored in the corners, their hands folded, and he's like, come closer. And you can see he's looking, using tweezers to pick up a gemstone, look at it, puts the gemstone aside, picks up another gemstone, takes a look at it, places it aside, and he says, so, what numbers do you have for me? And he says, oh, yeah. Depends on the day. Depends on the day. What are you talking about? And he goes, and he gives him a number that you can tell is from the Jewish calendar as opposed to what essentially is a Christian calendar, and he gives him a date. And he's like, yeah, give me a pen and paper. Here we go. Yeah. And he gets a pen and paper real quick, and he writes down a series of numbers. And it's like he's writing down these 16-digit numbers. And he writes, boom, 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 starts writing them out. And he looks up and he's like, yeah, that's it, boss. Yeah, here you go. And he hands them over. And this guy looks at it, looks over kind of over the glasses that are sitting on the edge of his nose. He looks at the numbers, takes it, puts it in a drawer, and he's like, "Thank you very much, thank you." And he grabs one of the little gemstones, puts it in a small little velvet bag, and hands it to the gambler. And hands it to him. He's like, "Oh man, thanks a lot, guy." Then he like swallows a little bit. He's like, "My friends here, yeah, they want to talk to you." And gentleman's nonplussed at all. He just looks over his glasses, and he's like, "You're here for something? How can I help you?"
Yeah, I have a question. How do you justify being a rabbi, a man of peace, and a gangster?
In this world, some people must be taught, and it is my job to give people those lessons of life.
I guess you live on both sides of the fence. The grass is always green.
It says, some may say that I am what you would call a hypocrite. I call myself I'm practical. On one hand, I take care of my spirituality. On the other hand, that doesn't work. I've got something to fall back on.
And speaking of being a shepherd, I have some stray sheep here for you. May me introduce. This is G. Owen, and this is Mr. Smith. We have a proposition for you. And there's some chairs, and I motion for my friends to come sit down and talk to the rabbi.
Yeah. Oh, it's the office is actually quite immaculate, to the point where it's almost sterile.
There's the two Mossad sitting down, the two brutes.
No, not those guys. They're there. They are there to protect them. Everything else is there to make sure that the gemstones don't disappear on their way out the door.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Okay. So the rabbi, he looks over at the gathering of you gentlemen, and he says, I'm not sure who you are or what it is that you want. You don't look familiar, which means you're new players in the game. And it doesn't appear that you have the backing of maybe some of my allies, which means that it's possible you're working with some of my enemies. So if you plan on making your threats now, I suggest you do so. Not a problem. But let's get down to business. It is something that you want, and there is always something that I want.
Well, there's definitely something that we need. Owen.
Absolutely. We work for ourselves. We have no enemies or allies backing us, but we are in need of someone with your skills and your contacts. We have sensitive information that needs to be moved physically because to move it electronically would be too dangerous for us. And we're
Ah,
hoping that
that is why
you
you've come to us. You see,
exactly.
we some refer to us as organized crime, and sure, in the movies, we, you break knees, you knock heads. We deal with a more, shall we say, cerebral portion of the less legal portions of that. We deal with information, uh, papers. Maybe someone needs to go somewhere they're not allowed to go. Someone needs to leave and return. That is what we do. That is all we do. Um, no more, no less.
That
Some
sounds
wish to threaten
exactly
us.
like what
Hmm?
that sounds exactly like what we're looking for.
Okay. Um, Now,
Oh,
unfortunately, in order to, shall we say, arrange to have information transferred from one place to another, it must be encrypted. It has to be given such data that it cannot be unlocked. Now, of course, as anyone who knows anything about computers, and I don't, knows that there's no such thing as something that is unhackable. The issue is, how much time do you have to do so? So, sure, we can make something that is relatively unhackable if it would take 50 years to crack the code. Therefore, we offer the best protection to get your information from one place to another with the longest amount of time to prevent its public appearance. But it will cost you, and it may cost you a favor.
I'm fairly confident in my own encryption methods. The main thing I need is the physical transference of the data to 3 locations across the continental U.S. Uh, Scientific locations, universities. One in
This,
Colorado, one in Washington State, and another in Texas.
wow. Hmm. Hmm. The best protection is the simplest. Okay. I say to you, we can arrange for 2 of those locations. The third, to ensure that what you wish me to do, that you have as much risk, you are going to have to take there yourself.
Hmm. All right, I can
I
agree to that.
will, okay, I will arrange the contacts, no problem. You, therefore, owe me. I don't like to trade in money. I have money. He kind of like gestures at the gemstones. He's like, money's nothing. But favors, information, that is what I will trade with you. Um, I'm presuming that you may have had some tangential association with what went on today. No need to answer. Therefore, I will ask of you a very simple thing. Um, there is a gentleman that needs something. I wish to get this information to in the Midwest on your way out there. Drop off the information, no problem. You keep going, no harm, no foul. What say you?
I can't speak for my colleagues, but I can say that I will attempt this.
Okay.
I got your back on this.
Okay.
Also, Rabbi,
Hmm?
do you deal in arms?
Do I do? Sir, listen. Were I to deal in arms, they would be the highest quality ever. Um, the, shall we say, the Kalashnikov, a very well used firearm, is nothing compared to the Israeli Galil. That is a weapon. It is a sniper weapon. It is a close combat weapon. I have these things and much more.
We can do business sometime then.
Okay. He reaches into a desk, pulls out a notepad, and writes some things down, and boom, 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 writes down, rips it out, hands it over to one of the beefy gentlemen who comes over. He kind of takes a look at it, like takes a really good look at it, and goes, "All right, sure thing, boss." He puts it in his pocket, and he pulls out reaches under his coat. You can see there's like a he's got a weapon there, but next to his weapon he's got a set of keys, and they look like the keys to like lock boxes, maybe in like anything from airports to what are those things called? To my brain's going to a lock, a security lock, not necessarily a lock to a door, but a lock to a
Locker?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he says, my gentleman will drive you there. No problems. Just know that if I hear, and I hear many things on the streets, that you are working with those who would like to, say, infringe on my particular part of the local enterprises, I'm sorry to say I cannot be very hospitable to you any longer.
Completely understandable.
Okay. Good thing. And so he gives the gentleman instructions to actually go find you some firearms. And so you guys, like, kind of waves you guys to follow him downstairs.
And I will.
All right. He goes downstairs, got a couple of car keys, finds a Lincoln Town car. He's got the keys to it, starts it on up. It's blacked out windows, and attempts to drive you guys away, and goes to a local used store with a sliding orange grate that slides up, and inside are crates with sawdust and well-looking Israeli firearms imported into the United States. Not a bad thing. So he gives you instructions to drop something off to someone that lives in Nebraska on your way to either Texas, Colorado, or Washington State. Your choice. And he doesn't tell you what it is, but it will be in a lockbox, and you are to drop it off. Other than that, he is guaranteeing that any information that you need to leave will be off the grid, and it will be encrypted.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And his the gambler, his job is to memorize all of the bank accounts and encryption codes, since they are such long series of numbers, and he really doesn't want them written down. He has them remember them on different dates. So all he has to do is give them a date, and then he can just punch out the codes. And since people aren't familiar with Jewish calendar readings, they would never know what date he's talking about.
So I'm going to pull the 3 military flash drives that I've copied when I was over at Eli's place, and I'll hand 2 of them to the rabbi.
Okay. Um, the military flash drives, because you've already gotten information from them, previous from the last encounter,
Right,
and
and these are all copies.
right, correct, and apparently you realize that there's been this essentially a guerrilla war, almost a shadow war between what the government views as an invasion force that's already been living with us from something beyond, and they don't want the public to know about it, but they want to completely eliminate it or use it or study it, and they don't want the public knowing about it at all. Anybody that's not cleared for it, they're eliminated, including you guys.
Right.
And they have independent contractors doing that.
Okay.
All right. We're going to stop it right here. We'll do a little post analysis and break down whatever decision we made or whatever, or just bits a little bit. So we're going to stop it right here, let people hear it, and then we'll say goodnight after that. All right. So that's it. What do you guys think?
I had a tremendously great time.
Okay. I very quickly I realized that like in the game, rules wise, I hate crunchy stuff, but rules wise in the game, I think if you're able to take a story point and then spend it to like recover something, I think that's actually probably a good use.
Okay, yeah, no, I had fun, man. This is a nice set of rules. I'm enjoying this.
Yep. And if you feel like it needs to be like the typical I want to have my character grow or change or something like that, feel free to do it. So next time if you want your narrative or something to change or whatever, you can. And I will say that like interacting with like for example, like in this situation, we were interacting with the underworld. I feel like that allows you to get that back, because like it's purposefully interacting with that part of your story. So if you lost it doing something else, I think you should gain it back. So that's how I look at it. So I think you should have gained it back.
Cool.
Yep.
I'm liking this, man. I'm liking this.
Cool.
I always have a lot of fun in these games, and it's because like I don't have to worry about everyone like trying to kill my character. It's about like moving the story and what would be interesting to happen. So it's all about like a player's engagement and how you want to depict your character and have them come across. It's not going to be so much of, oh, I take down totem lords.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just super narrative. I love it. It's a great time. I always have a good time. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, you've always been a very forward player agency person, player agency player, I guess is the way to say it. And some people get kind of nervous about that, but I think the nervousness from people who aren't used to it comes from the fact that I think player agency, people think that it's a hard stop, right? Meaning like if someone says something that they're not allowed to change it or alter it, but that's not really the case. The minute someone places something in the game, it's free reign for anybody else to interact with it, right? So it's not just me making up something, but something anybody else throws into the pot. There's always going to be something new and always going to be something different. It's not a matter of just a player predicting everything for themselves. It's a matter of all the players predicting things around them. I mean, not predicting things around them, adding things around them, and then it adds more choices and even a little bit of chaos for everybody else, including the game master. So that stuff never bothered me, but it does scare some game masters.
Yeah, I thought it was the system's really nice in that it allows your character to easily switch back and forth throughout their life. Like, I think the first time my character was in a bar and then meets Owen, and he's drinking a drink, and then it flashes back and he's in the car and he's taking this whole motion of the spinning wheels to the spinning drink to the steering wheel. And I think it plays rather nicely that way, like because you have the freedom to explore your character in a non-linear fashion. You can tell any story that you want to tell here. Also, what's nice is when you do screw up, it just means that there's going to be a shift in your character's description. So it's another angle that you get to describe them with. And I was really shocked that Frank changed something so intrinsic to his character. Like the veteran, was that what you changed, Frank?
Yep, combat veteran.
Combat veteran, yeah. I thought you would have changed something else, like Angel of Death.
Yeah, he was still an angel of death, even when he was not a combat veteran.
Yeah, I was thinking. What I did this time was I created a negative value for my character. Nothing left to lose, right? So it's when you start at a deficit, you can only go forward, right? You can only create something positive. So
See,
I wanted to see if that would work.
Right, you know what I thought about that too, about having a negative trait to use and then losing the negative trait, meaning like how would that play?
Yeah.
And then how could you use what's the way to say? How could you use a negative trait for a positive gain? Because essentially it's part of your character's,
right.
It's part of your character's positive progression, but it is a negative trait, right? So how do you use it
when you mess up?
Right, it's a negative. Right, so in a strange way, it almost, that's kind of a cool thing because you could want to fail. You know, you almost. I can see narratively, not in the game, but I can see how a story goes where you have a character who has a stack of negative traits, and they through the course of their story they lose those negative traits to become the hero at the end, and then gain those negative traits right back again, right? Like it's like the lost hero. You know, I'm just making an example. Like you could have a story where you know. Well, and actually part of this story where you have like the drunk detective who gets pulled out of his dark depression to go save a young girl, and at the end of the story, after she's saved,
he's depressed again.
Right, once she's saved, he's depressed. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, how? But that's a trope, though. That really is that's a classic trope. You know, I wish there was more. There's a literary trope for that with the lost hero or the fallen hero who
The anti-hero.
Right, but not necessarily being evil, but they have such negative traits that they have to overcome their negative traits to do good, but they can never quite get rid of those negative traits.
The first fantasy hero that comes to my mind is Elric of Melniboné from Michael Moorcock's.
Elric, yeah. Right.
Elric.
Yeah. For my character, it was I forget what did I write. It was nothing left to lose. Well, when you have nothing left to lose, it's you have nowhere to go but like to have something to lose. And when there was such a huge threat to his life, I just felt that it would just propel him to want to survive instead of give up. Yeah, I think it might be another interesting facet to the system that we discovered.
I like that you pushed it there. Okay, cool. Because and also it's like I kind of did it's not similar, but I tried to do something to Fate because I tried to break it, in the sense that I like that because it makes me think like can you break the system, can you make a character with negative traits, still play them, have them still be effective, and then how is that story played out? And I really like it. I think it's
I
kind
thought
of
it worked
cool.
really
So, cool.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
I like to be in the office after all the gunfire. We'd run the car to the judge's quarters, to the judge's office, when we were all able to take a step back and then talk to each other. Because I like the interaction that I had between Mr. Smith and Eli Silas there. That was a very dark moment.
Yeah, it was, and I thought it was really good, Phil.
You
I
guys are
think,
going to have it storming and raining and be gray all the time, man.
yeah, no, actually, I think what might have happened with Eli, he finally met somebody that was quite possibly more depressed and negative than him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely that happened.
Yeah. Man, but thanks, guys. Thanks for everything, including understanding, putting things together. As you know, because I'll start the sign off right now. But as you guys know, I've been writing and just trying to develop some stuff. Things have just been in my head, so I've got to get them out on paper. So thanks for all the understanding. And I really, like I said, I can't take credit quite for creating this little one-line game, since so many other games have given me influence to do it. But for example, I love A.J. Pickett's D4 system. I just, he one page, hey, roll a D4, you're done. There's plenty of other real simple game systems. I think it's 1-7 Design has 5 or 6 1- or 2-page role-playing games. One I'd really like to do called Ghost Echo. That looks really interesting. And I think they have another one called Lasers and Feelings, which is Lasers and Feelings. It's it's loosely based on a Star Trek crew, and it basically uses it's a very simple system. It's called Lasers and Feelings, and you either have lasers or feelings. It's weird. Anyway. You got to look it up. Just type in Lasers and Feelings, Google search it. It's very funny. Very classic tropey-ish and stuff. I wanted to try to use this system too to do something I always wanted to do was called Crimson Skies. It was a video game, and it was also a miniatures game, but it's a world. I'm sorry. It was a world. I think it takes place in the 30s.
Yep.
Late 30s, and it's all biplane, airplane. Essentially after the Depression, the United States splits up into various countries or unions, and so there's the Empire State is its own state. Dixieland is a state. The Empire of Hollywood is a state. I think there's Colorado Enclave. I don't remember all of them, but it's basically based around a world where everyone's the highway system was never developed, but you have these different states in the United States, and they're all separated, and the only way they deal with each other is with planes and dirigibles, and the Hindenburg never crashed. So there's airships everywhere, and everyone plays. I just imagine all those pulp action characters, Indiana Jones, everything from Indiana Jones to the Red Baron to Sky Captain, and what's that movie? Sky Captain and something.
Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Yes, that whole pulp action, fly. I love that type of stuff too. The Rocketeer movie, and I think it's probably mid-90s, late 90s.
Yeah, around the mid-90s, yeah.
Mid-90s. It didn't take off, but The Rocketeer was basically in that, that era and stuff. So, anyway, that's it. Okay, let's do the official sign off. Okay, I'm DBJ. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for allowing me to ramble on and on. I have a YouTube channel. Just type in "Bring Back the Magic" and look for the guy with the gray beard and the dreads. You'll find something. Any of you guys want to sign off with anything? Please feel free. Go ahead.
I just want to say thanks, man. It's been a blast. I just love it. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah,
problem.
same here. Same here.
No problem.
My name's Philip Posey. I run the channel Philip Abel, also known as Maps and Dragons. Come check out my channel. I've got some stuff going on. Also, check out the OSG. You can find lots of games. I'm playing in like 7 this week, so if you like tabletop role-playing games, come join us. There's something for everybody. Thank you very much for having me in the game, and thank you, gentlemen, for playing tonight.
Thanks for being here, man.
Awesome, awesome. Everybody, have a very good evening, and you guys have a good one. Thank you. All right, now.